Here we go. Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Peter Tobler, I'm head of auction at Johann Spengerserben Auction House in Vienna. We're presenting you our upcoming classic auction, 45th in the turn of the classic auction of Springers. It will be on the 21st of May in 2026. And so today we're going to browse through a very specific type of lots and we take the opportunity to show you one of our most, for me personally, beloved Austrian gun makers, since we have a lot of opportunity to show items of his creation. And this time we talk about Josef Just from Ferlach. So obviously our house is from Vienna, we're based in Austria, a Vienna gun maker with a long-term history back to 1836, is when Springer started. And Josef Just from Ferlach and the dynasty they had before, the whole family goes back even further. So we talk about back to 1790. A lot of history to find of Ferlach gun makers, good literature on. You'll find a lot of specs of Josef Just to be in the past history. And lovely house. We're gonna take this one from Google Maps or somewhere to show you a little bit. So we talk about a person, a family, a maker history that is very totally connected to the history of gun making in Austria and to the gun making in Ferlach, especially up to today. Since when you drive through Ferlach, the Just house and the old gun making house is directly in the center of the city. So you're going to see it, you're going to experience and see there's a huge connection between the whole process of gun making development in Austria, especially up to the level of Luxotti gun making. We'll browse through. We had a past video on this one, I think a few years ago. A couple of guys liked it, so we're going to bring this opportunity to show you some more. First of all, we're going to start with something that doesn't say Just at all, but defines a little bit how we come to this approach of why we're talking about Josef Just so much and show these items. So this one here is an Albert Frommer from Tulln at the Danube. So it's a whole different gun maker's name on, but when you go to the rifle, I took it in the hand, saying like something strange about something has a different feeling to me when I consider the shape, how it is made, how some parts of the bascular are arranged and everything. And this system, it's not the typical classic old-fashioned, just simple Ferlach. And then you start looking, okay, what happens here? I don't know this guy from Danube, I don't know this gun maker, but I know quite some Ferlach guys. And yet, we're gonna find it. We're gonna find the 24 on the barrel. So the main serial number is here. It's a 2716, but we find a stamp 24. And in fact, Ferlach gun makers, through the Genossenschaft in the Ferlach and their business organization, had kind of like house numbers. In German we say Hausnummer, which is indicated to their gun making. And 24 is the number of Just. So, given the fact that this type doesn't look like some nobody or the unknown gun maker style, but has super nice shape, especially for the age. This one is from 1969, pretty good for that time, yeah. And then we find out it's probably a Just, so you're going to contact with Ferlach and find out, totally get the confirmation that yes, in this period of time, Just, the gun maker, also supplied, of course, other gun makers. And this is, we speak a little bit more about the gun making post-World War because it's the most impact we can discuss regarding Ferlach gun making. After World War, different gun makers started their procedures with custom rifles. Some go almost to mass production like Zodiac, big factories, and others had custom jobs as well as creating systems for other gun makers. And this is what happened here. So it was a period when they already created high-end rifles, good qualities, and supplied other gun makers and other gun shops with their creations. So when we pass on in the future, the limitation and the quality is a whole different approach. So end of 60s, you could order this for your shop probably and put your own name on. This will change massively in the years after, because at the peak of time, when also Josef Just, finally Josef Just, who was the last in the dynasty to work under the name, and closing the business also then, started to focus totally on high-end production. There was a lot of business influence in Ferlach, since it was a trouble period, getting the right gun makers, getting the right stuff in the post-World War area. There was different job opportunities for everybody, so it was kind of tricky to really go into a pushing market with gun making. So you had to, either the choice to create a huge factory, maybe it works out, didn't work out for many, didn't work out well, or you go into the exclusive sector, and tough decision to say like become the best of the world, but in fact that was the approach of a few Ferlach gun makers, and this is what they really made to the top. So they become the peak gun makers over the years, and only creating one level higher each time, and this is what you can experience. So we go ahead, already start somewhere in the 80s. We have yet another creation, and you can see we're talking now almost 15, 17 years later in 86, a Kiplov rifle from Josef Just. Had a super nice tear. You're gonna remember this kind of shape. Something that really triggers you with what Just's creation. A lot of detail, and in fact, only high value production is really what it meant to become selected woods. All the options to create what a customer likes to have, how he wanted it arranged. This one, very tough and rugged, really solid system, overprotective a little bit. The caliber is 6.5, 68, so it's nothing super strong, but it's an absolutely solid rifle. It's like, you know, made to last forever, this locking system. There is no question about ever getting loose or anything. No, this is absolutely rock solid. Hand cocking, so. And you see this lovely approach, how to get better and better with every rifle you make, to take more time, more exclusiveness. Superb. With a family emblem here for the previous owner. Absolutely nice. I think we have some more of the 80s. Explain how I have it. Here in the box I can show you around a little bit. So this was one kind of setup in the 80s that you can arrange. It reminds a little bit what we know about gun making from English best gun makers around the globe. So you get a whole setup with all you need. Wonderful. You have the family emblem, the historic one in Carinthia, Austria. Josef Just precision hunting rifles since 1790 in Ferlach. And once again, you see this wonderful shape of typically used rifles. They are very slim, very clean, super nice shapes. I'm gonna open up and bring it out for you. You can assemble it here. So we'll clean ourselves a little space and go through this nice rifle here. Here we go. And what we have right here is a so-called Bergstutzen, so an over-under combination rifle, over-under barrels with two different calibers to have more approach, especially, for example, for mountain hunting. That's where the name Bergstutzen tends a little bit to, because Berg is the mountain. So here we go. Yet again, the wonderful 24. You see the 24 is totally integrated in the serial number right now. So all the Ferlach is typically, when they have the number completed, is their full own production. Classic one, so we speak about this design, also used in Suhl with a 3-part forend. Lovely. And yet again, a super creation, over-under rifle, side lock edition. Comes with a nice emblem here, and you see there's a lot of thinking how to create everything smooth, everything fits perfectly fine together, all the shapes wonderfully done. It's especially here. And classic, you see, this is the 80s. We have a claw mount, we have a traditional scope, half rings, engravings, all this kind of shape. A real historic rifle from a superb gunmaker that creates one level higher every time a rifle comes out of his workshop. The wood quality, so this is part of what shows Just, and also of course other Ferlach gun makers tended to always create a better and higher level on what they are doing. Absolutely nice. Different selection here, super. This one, great opportunity to have something at our auction, put a new scope on. That's typically what you alter right now if you purchase something like this. Keep the old one, so you have the traditional look, but for a practical use, and this one is in very smooth and very good condition. The adjustment would make sense, and you have a wonderful distance rifle for mounting hunting. Perfect. I'm going to keep it outside the box now. We'll pass on to the next one. So you already see there is a lot of work and effort put into the rifle itself, into the full presentation. What Just also did was create shotguns. So, well, it passed through the 60s, so now we're coming up for the 90s and have a Just shotgun. The shotgun market, of course, is very famous for the English shotgun market, the Italians, also in the second part of the 20th century, and of course in Austria, Vienna shotguns, because Springer was one of the biggest shotgun makers, especially before World War I, and up to date. So we're creating new Holland sidelock types, and this one is a Ferlach shotgun. Sometimes, very rare, we have the option to see a side lock shotgun from Just. This one is a classic one with only side plates, but very common for the Ferlach creation. Single trigger, caliber 16, deep engraving with a lot of hunting scenes. Nicely done, and yet again, pretty solid. So I'm quite sure the owner also had this one, maybe forged himself as a caliber 12. Very traditional made, super done. And in the 90s, I think this is more to see, it looks like some of them we had before, because this is more the basic and the minimum standard now that was built, because the tier is going higher and higher, and we'll talk about full hand and super nice guns and rifles. So in 630, we have this one lovely here, and that really shows what was the main focus of the Just production, creating super nice, super slick, high-end tier rifles. So a Holland sidelock type system double rifle, 9.374R. Talked a lot about this caliber, is really coming back again for driven hunt. You see the emblem here of Just, super nice arabesque engraving, and full finest art of gun making. Every inch of the rifle totally focused on precision, on a super nice setup, and high-end tier wood, up to everything that was requested by the customer. Fine closings here, solid finish up on the top of the stock wrist, so super nice. Built to last forever, take a lot of energy, and the focus of Just was to create that what you expect when you get a high-end tier. So you want the combination of what means perfect gun making. Okay, we'll talk about the system, everything needs to be fitted perfectly together. You want precision, you want reliability, but you also have some aesthetical approach. So you need a nice engraving, you need to combine the right workers to fit everything together. You need the correct wood and This is what really shows what happened in Ferlach, especially at Just and also with other Ferlach gunmakers. They focused on putting whole effort into really high-end tier and absolute masterpieces, customized and collectibles. Lovely. And if it's for speed and you're going to need that speed at a driven hunt, you're going to supply it with an aim point. Why not? Because one part is the aesthetical thing, the other, all the rifles they typically build are not just a vision for just art and creation, but to be practical, to be something that really can be used by hunters. And this is what, if you go through all the used rifles, they are super beautiful. We're going to have some more, even higher tiers. But at last, the minimum you can use it is one time, or you definitely use it plenty of time, because they are solid. They are absolutely solid. And it's never creations just for being fancy or something, always having a value of gun making and a value of hunting rifle. So that's typical when you look at the used rifle. You never will find a crazy creation, like things like, oh my God, it looks amazing, but what do I do with it? That's not. You will find a super nice, high-end, high-value rifle or shotgun, but it's also meant to be shot. So we're now in the 90s, browsed through a lot of items. Right now, I think we should have one more here. Yeah. Ah, perfect. Lovely to see. This one was already used a lot about. So, yet again, you remember typical slim design of Just, and you see it's a custom job. Especially this is a custom job for a left-hand shooter. You see on the stock is done for a lefty. And this has been used. You can see also a little bit wear and tear, especially on the butt plate. It's already been used, and that's what it should be. You should go out for a hunt with it, and if you take a little bit of responsibility with the rifle, it will take a lot of time out on the field. You will be happy. Rock solid system. We're shooting 270 Winchester here, so that's going to be quite some impulse and also for a good range. Scope is still fully intact, but I assume that the new shooter probably would change it, especially to his personal needs, but that thing will do the job absolutely fine. It will do it in 30 years again, like this one here has already put some time on. Hand cocking, easy lift off, and as we told, it is made for individuals that really want not just have a rifle, but to have their personality a little bit on the rifle. And here you have typically those kind of designs. Maybe German background, because those leaves mostly have been used in this kind of era, but it was also a 90s design, typically 80s and 90s. And yeah, we pass on to finish it up and summarize this a little bit with what is the absolute peak, and speak a little about of the late period. So we'll come into the 21st century and go through one wonderful rifle, and every year less quantity, more quality. So you will find more rifles from the 70s, 80s up to the 90s. Then from the late 90s and then early 2000s and the late up to 2012, it will become ultimately scarce because there was only a limited number of items per year. Many of them sold around the globe, so they will never find their way back. Whether they are in Russia, they are in Africa, they are in other countries, chances are scarce. And here we have a 2000 series, I think it's 2003. And you will see a full, complete setup of a wonderful, perfectly balanced rifle. Up to every detail, still putting a lot of value into practical gun making. So it has the shape of a traditional hunting rifle one would expect if he wants a Ferlach rifle, yet it is absolutely nicely finished into every detail. You have the whole setup, so this is more like a presentation gun. Meanwhile, it was a gun maybe used for one basic shooting setup, and then kept as a collection. I'm going to assemble it together for you. And yet again, we have a lock type that tends to be Holland, considering the pins. And you have this absolutely wonderful design of a perfectly made, rock solid and still high detailed Ferlach rifle. We talk about the 338 Winchester, 338 Win Mag, so that has kind of punch. And we go through yet again the full design. Typically we have a 3-part forend, double underhook, double greener crossbolt, so built to last forever. Let's put the ejectors out here and fit it together. So here we go, super nice. Everything fits really tight because this is like a almost factory new design. Minimal signs of use because just of test shots probably. And you have the scope. Traditional claw mount. So no switching mount. Typically when you create something like this, you create it one time, you have your arrangement, you have everything to the specification that you love to have. And really for all you need, one purpose. You have the scope, you have the backup, no rail, so different designs really what the function is interested into. And here we go. A super nice Bolino engraved double rifle over-under system by Josef Just. The designer was Krehenik, so he made the Bolinos. And yet again, a full peak design of Ferlach gunmaking. Absolutely lovely. And we'll talk about already strong caliber, solid, has an impulse, has energy, and still feels absolutely nice in the hand. That's one thing. When you have the chance to visit us, go for an exhibition, or have the chance to test a used rifle, take it in your hands. It's this kind of feeling that it absolutely just feels right. So it is a balance of a product that really feels having a piece of art in your hand that is still practically. That's something you really have to find out. There's a lot of fancy creations on the market, but those ones I never seen a used rifle that look kind of out of the place or something. No, they're always for, oh my God, I want to have it, I want to keep it, I want to keep this nice, but still I want to use it. And that's what collectors and mostly shooters, hunters that use used rifles, really love about him. So, comes to the tricky part, because I told you a long-term history. Back in 1790, Josef Just retired already a period of time ago. In 2012, he finished his business, he closed down and went into the retirement. He's still in Ferlach, well known and one of the most beloved gun makers there. Nice person, very, very up close with all the people in his town, because his family and his whole history is very based there. Absolutely nice. So the chance to get one of the used rifles for years is already limited to the used market, because you only find what is there for used, and it's getting less and less. So mostly we find them here in mid-Europe or in Austria, but typically they leave our country or they even leave Europe. So if you're interested in seeing one of these or taking your chance, do it right now. There won't be so much in the future, and the chances if they're gone, they're gonna be gone forever is quite sure. So that was a little approach on Josef Just, something about our auction house, where we perform a wonderful catalog. Our guys take a lot of effort to make nice pictures for you. You're gonna find a lot of storytelling in the pictures, in the descriptions on the website. So browse through, could be something of interest. We put everything in the description for you. And with wonderful greetings from Vienna, we'll say goodbye and hope you enjoyed this video of Josef Just and Ferlach gunmaking. My pleasure, Peter Tobler from Gunmaking. Greetings.